Before I begin, I want to acknowledge that my topic is controversial, and I'm not forcing my beliefs upon you. I simply want to broaden your thoughts about this movement. The Black Lives Matter movement began in 2012 after the Trayvon Martin killing, when George Zimmerman was acquitted for his crime, and 17-year-old Trayvon Martin was placed on trial for his own murder. The Black Lives Matter movement considers those that have been shut out within the Black liberations movements. Today I'll be talking about 3 major misconceptions that people feel, or when they hear about the Black Lives movement, they think about. So the first misconception is that the Black Lives Matter movement focuses on just Black Lives Mattering and no other races. According to the Black Lives Matter founders, Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi, the statement Black Lives Matter is not an anti-white proposition. In the statement, it is implied but unspoken that the Black Lives Matter too. With that being said, people who mischaracterize that the value of Black Lives Mattering are being anti-white, are suggesting that in order for white lives to matter, that Black lives cannot. This movement isn't about hatred for whites. It is about the movement. It is about the system already treating whites as if they value more. In result to the Black Lives Matter movement, there were other hashtags that flooded social media, as for example, all lives matter hashtag and the Blue Lives Matter that refers to police officers. But why is this? Why were these hashtags made after the Black Lives Matter? John Hofstede, the writer of an article published to the Huffington Post called "The Real Reason White People Say All Lives Matter," explained that something about the statement Black Lives Matter makes us uncomfortable. He also gave an example of, if you attend a breast cancer awareness event, you wouldn't think they were saying that other types of cancers don't matter, and you would be shocked if someone came with a big poster saying colon cancer matters, or all cancer patients matter. There is something deeply discomforting about the term Black that people don't like. The second misconception is that the Black Lives Matter movement promotes violence to police officers and other people in our society. The message the movement spreads has nothing to do with inflicting violence and pain against other people in our country or in our world. It is simply to call an end to police brutality that is taking a toll on Black lives. On July 8th, the Huffington Post wrote an article in regard to the Dallas, Texas sniper shooting, which ended in 5 police officers being killed. Prior to the shooting, there was a protest that was led by leaders of the Black Lives Matter, and they were speaking against the shooting of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile that were killed a few days before each other by police officers. The backlash of the shooting was put on the Black Lives Matter movement by thousands of people on social media, which made it a big deal than it really was. The two, in response to Twitter and social media, G.K. Butterfield, a North Carolina Democrat and chairman, stated on the USA Today that if someone goes in a building and assassinates 5 police officers, they are a terrorist. They are not part of the Black Lives Matter movement. Let's be intelligent and separate the issues we are debating. The last misconception is that the Black Lives Matter movement doesn't focus on black crime. According to the Daily Wire, 93% of blacks are killed by other blacks. But what they fail to mention is that most crime is interracial. Adding to the 93% of black on black crime, the Black Lives Matter movement expresses that 84% of white murder victims are also murdered by other whites. Addressing black on black crime doesn't mean that black people shouldn't be outraged by police violence. That doesn't mean just because black people are being killed by other black people doesn't eliminate that we have a problem with police brutality. A CNN law enforcement analysis and former NYPD detective argued that black people are prone to being criminals. For example, what that means is, since I'm only half black, that means that I have a higher risk at being violent or a criminal than someone that is white. A study done by Robert H. Durant showed that children learn violent behaviors. Their behaviors are reinforced by TV shows and things they see on the internet and video games. So to reduce violent crimes, we must fight to change systems rather than demonizing the other people. In conclusion, the Black Lives Matter movement is criticized by people that are misinformed about what they are really here to do. By the information that I have presented to you today, I hope I can simply broaden your thoughts about this movement.